Jessie Lambert from Abbotsford, BC. Ashlee Graham from Kensington, PEI. Just outside of Charlottetown. They'll be our first prelim. First appearance for both bowlers on the Pins game. Although again, through the YBC and through different programs, they have competed nationally. So they do have lots of experience, not just this is what's new to them.
This is extremely new to a lot of bowlers. You've got some lights, you've got a crowd around you. You're the focus of everything right now for the next 15 to 20 minutes or so. And everybody that comes here desperately wants to not bowl a bad game. Just let me bowl halfway decent towards my average or something.
Playing for $50 a frame in these preliminaries. This is Ashlee Graham.
Okay, a little off the target with the first one, over to the left 3-pin. Try to square this off now. Fit the ball in the pocket. Cover the spare and try to carry the frame. Decent looking shot. Oh, it moved a little too much at the end. So that frame goes over to Jessie to start things off.
Ashlee is 15 and she's in grade 9. She picks up the 15 count. You know, again, she may be disappointed in her start, but that 15 count, when it's all said and done, may be very important.
Exactly. So try to get this one up. A little off to the left again. Gonna need to stay down a little bit more on the shot. Make sure you focus in on your target. Looked like a better delivery, but a poor result. Ball going right by the right corner. Tough break on that one. And she's going to have to try to pick up this corner, get the 15 points. Nope, 13 the final count. It's a little bit of a slow start for Ashlee.
So a good opportunity for Jessie Lambert to pick up another frame and another $50. Pretty succinct in what she was saying is the key to her shooting, and that's just hit the middle. She didn't hit it there, and with obvious results. And you know, sometimes it's like a lot of things. Maybe be simple. She picks up the spare and the frame. You know, keep it simple, stupid.
There you are, and that when she gets the break on and has the corner topple over for her to give her the spare, Ashlee, same frame, threw a ball that was as good as that and got tapped on the right side, and it costs her that second frame.
And the head pin. Well, again, go back to what we said as we began, being around the head pin. You said, you know, these kind of things are going to happen, but better that you be around it than miss it altogether.
Yes, and I think I've only can think of a couple of people that have ever gotten strikes without hitting the middle with the first ball. And the ball went down there about Mach 3 and just sprayed pins all over the place.
And there's a good cover, exactly. She picks up the 15.
Here's one now. If Ashlee can get this first shot on the middle, get a little bit of confidence going again.
Like that. So takes advantage of the 15, the open frame by Jessie Lambert, and she picks up her first $50.
Better ball here, gets it out on the lane a little bit. stretches up through it and gets the good result at the far end, more importantly to carry that first strike.
Better around it, much leave up the corner.
Gonna need to cover this spare now. I'm gonna move over a little bit to the left on the approach, use the angle across the lane, and that's got it perfect now.
So Ashlee appears to have settled down a little bit, and now Jessie. Lambert has a chance with a strike to pick up the frame. Like that.
Nice shot there.
So she shakes off the punch and the open frame to pick up a strike and a frame.
Good balance at the end of this. Arm swing through the shot and right into the pocket. Carries them all. Picks up the frame and leads off now in 5. Pinfall's been great here when we get the ball on the side. A lot of strikes. It's the kind of house that makes the pocket just grow from this to this, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. It feels like you can throw it anywhere within about 12-inch range to hit where you want it.
Yep. Well, now we've got our first carryover as Ashlee Graham matches the strike put up by Jessie Lambert, and we'll play for $100 here in 6.
It's close.
Yeah, terrific stuff. Boy, after her 2 opens in 1 and 2, she's marked 3 through 6. Ashlee Graham.
This ball looked like it was going to go in a little bit high. Manages to stay up there with good stuff on it. All 5 pins. Out the back door.
And look at that. Ashlee Graham will pick up the 2 frames and the $100 that goes with it, and we're all even.
So Jessie's got to make this spare now. Keep the pinfall in order. Ashlee's got a bit of an advantage right here, and there's a miscue, only a 20 count on the strike, and an open frame.
Gets her 15. Now it's time to regroup. You know, it's funny because it's noticeable. Her extension on those last 2 first balls in 6 and now in 7. Her extension not as much as when she was hitting the headpin.
Exactly, and she's just coming through a little quick, perhaps. Every miss that she's had has been over to the left side. Now she blows by on the right side and leaves a huge opening for Ashlee.
And you know, you can relate it, I think, somewhat to golf. You know, when they talk about swinging through and swinging that 6 inches past the ball, making sure your club head goes through that as she misses, and now that's back-to-back opens. The extension is just as important as the big high follow-through. You make sure you're right out to your target.
Exactly. You have to have that stretch through the shot. That's what keeps the good stuff on the ball and keeps you throwing consistently.
Like that. Boy, she's just now has found it. Ashlee Graham will put up a 3rd consecutive strike, picks up another frame. Ashlee's mom and dad, Joy and Donnie, are here from Prince Edward Island, Charlottetown area.
Well, there's another set of aces. We've seen those in previous weeks. All of a sudden showing up at a time that she could really have used something that she could put a mark on, keep that pinfall rolling up on her side. But cover off the 15. It's going to force Jessie into making a mark, and she's struggled the last 2 frames, leaving both of those open. That's got it.
Very nice to get to 15.
And there's the pinfall that she was building up in 5, 6, and 7. Just comes to a screaming halt in 8 with a set of aces.
But she's in control of the pin count, and it's just a reminder that if we are tied in money at the end of the game, we'll use the pin count. And right now that's well in Ashlee Graham's favor.
Jessie's got to get back on the middle now. She struggled last 3 frames to hit it. She's going to struggle here as well.
What is the most common problem or something that afflicts a bowler, for example, in golf? You know, putting, you'll get the yips and you won't be able to control it and bring the putter through. As this is a 3rd straight open frame now for Jessie. And the frame will go to Ashlee Graham. That's gives her 250 now, and she's right on the verge of going over. What will a very good bowler suddenly develop as a problem?
Usually there's a couple of things that you can boil it down to the very basics and say, A, I have to hit my spot, and I got to make sure that I hit it. That is, watch the spot until the ball rolls over top of it. So you really got to be conscious that the ball is really going where you think it's going. And it's very easy to fall out of that habit, because if you're rolling well, you start throwing the ball up there, and you start lifting your head a little sooner, and pretty soon you don't know if you really did hit the spot or not. And the second one is follow through. Try to get that follow through consistently on the lane. If you can do those 2 things, you're going to hit the pins you're aiming for, guaranteed.
You can just see it in Jessie's face. You know she's struggling right now. She manages to pick up the 15, but that's 4 straight. Opens.
Not making the debut she would like to.
So an opportunity to advance here.
Swings.
And that will give Ashlee, if she can pick up the spare here, give her the trip to the quarterfinals.
And she's already got enough in pinfall. She's got the 5 frames, so she'll move on.
There it is.
Moves on a little more money now.
Yeah, a little emphasis. Picks up the spare, picks up the 50. And Ashlee Graham from the Kensington area side of Charlottetown, PEI, will advance. Gives it a rattle and a roll.
Just about. So after a slow start with missing the middle in 1 and 2, she has hit it all the way home. Strikes in 3, 5, 6, and 7. And that was enough to move her along. She's going to try to make the spare now. Cover it up with a strike, hopefully, for a 30 count. And that's what Jessie would have to better in the 10th. Just a little shy of it. 265 her final, a 20 count in the 10th.
And Mom and Dad will watch Ashlee advance.
Oh man. Well,
From bad to worse.
that's it for sure. She finally cracks the middle in the 10th with a decent shot, and the aces remain. This last 2-pin will give her a 177 score. Disappointing, and $150 in total. But a little more experience to bring back perhaps the next time.
Absolutely. Jessie Lambert will not advance. Ashlee Graham will, as she bowls at 265, wins $350. The 15-year-old from Prince Edward Island. That's some debut. Here. Penny Noble against Shelley Zich. Alberta against Saskatchewan in this second prelim, and Noble taking the first $50 as Zich comes back after a 5 count to bowl a strike here in 2.
Much better shot on that one from Shelley. Might have been the wake-up call she needed. Just toss the frame away in the first one and then see if we can bounce back and run a string of them together.
And she'll match it, Penny Noble.
Great shot. She comes into this one, stays down low, has the arm swing come up, and gets the desired result at the far end. Try to replicate it once more. Her first miss of the match. And again, get out the old work ethic here.
Penny in her third appearance has won $4,500.
Oops.
Yeah. So now looking to get her 15 count here in the third. Playing for $100.
Okay, there's the 15. She's just got to sit back and hope that it's enough. Shelley now up on the lane that caused her the grief in the first frame. Would like to just bury this ball right in the pocket. Get a little confidence going.
Wow.
Judge of play is calling that down, so that is a strike. It did go in time. Judge of play Jim Head had an eye on that one, and as he watched the pin move over, it was moving beyond its axis on the vertical. You can watch this as it trails its way in, and you'll see it start to lean in just a second. There it goes. It's leaning. It's not solidly on its base. It's called a down pin. Good call by Jim.
So the 2 frames and $100 to Shelley Zich.
This is a big spare coming up now. She's got Penny down 2 frames to 1. And does manage to cover that.
Well, after that 5 count in the first, Shelley has had a couple of strikes and a nice spare now. Now it's up to Penny. Penny Noble with a chance to win the frame and the $50, tie it up if she can strike here.
Good reach on that one.
Yep, and the result is a strike and the $50. It's obvious, isn't it? I mean, it's too simple to say, but you can see it out of their hand.
Very steady at the end of the shot. The shoulders are square to the foul line. The extension, the lift, and as much as anything else, the look as the ball got released. Almost coaxes that one over. Good spare shooter. She's very consistent on these, day in and day out.
What's the key to being a good spare shooter?
Really consistent follow through and looking at your spot. And just really focus on that. You don't have to do anything fancy on this. Picking up his spare, you can hit it anywhere, so effectively you've got a target, 8 inches wide or so that you can shoot at. It doesn't matter if you punch a corner pin out. It's not like hitting the pocket, for example. So if you just focus in on the target and the follow-through, you can usually execute it time and time and time again.
Shelley Zich now needs this to force a carryover. Well, the whole Zich family is here. Her husband, Tim, Morgan, Carmen, Carter. And they just saw Mom get the spare that she needed to force a carryover, and we'll play for $100 in the 6th.
Shelley's only hit the center twice on her first ball, that back in 2 and 3 when she got strikes. Not with that one either. Doesn't look comfortable out there at all. Maybe a little quick on the approach, perhaps.
So you have to tell yourself to do what? Certainly want to slow down, settle down. How do you do that? Just step away from the line a bit?
A lot of times it's a matter of the speed that you're getting to the line where you normally deliver the ball. And if your feet get a little fast, all of a sudden your arm swing tends to lag behind. The ball gets dropped, behind you a little bit. Consistency suffers, obviously. Same if your feet get a little slow and all of a sudden you're yanking shots to the left or right trying to get your arm swing through in time to pick it up. You get into areas that just you need to go back to some basic little key, like we talked before. Maybe you got a little song that you sing or whatever that gets your timing back in.
Great opportunity here for Penny Noble. She needs a 7 count. Now, I wonder sometimes too when if you're Penny Noble in a position like this, you see your opposition, your opponent put up a 6 spot, and that sort of takes your edge off.
It does. It's water kind of seeking its own level, so to speak, that, man, I don't have to just hammer a strike here. And they're very good at responding to strikes back and forth and so on.
Now she's got the frame, the 2 frames actually, in the $100.
But the thing here right now is that neither bowler being very sharp. If somebody breaks loose quickly, you may not be able to respond in time.
Sure. She gets the 15 count. We welcome Liz Noble from Medicine Hat, Alberta. Been to Medicine Hat. Done curling events, Medicine Hat.
Better shot.
Very nice.
This one goes in nicely. Hits a fraction full, but manages to get that last little bit of carry and push over the right corner. And watches it go down. And now Shelley must come back with one of her own and doesn't.
So another frame, another $50 to Penny Noble. And she now sits at 250. Pin count is pretty even.
And Shelley can keep it that way if she can throw the spare here. If she misses the spare, she's going to be in a little trouble. And off the mark with that one as well. That's a better one.
So she gets her 15 count for a 129 total, but Penny has a strike up in 7.
And the 5 frames in her pocket already.
Yes.
So no tomorrow for Shelley now. She's really got to throw a strike here and in 9.
Give herself a chance. No, she hasn't, except for, I guess, 2 and 3 when she got the strikes. Has she been around the head pin very much?
No, she's missed all the way along except for the corner pin back in the 7th. But she just looks like she's a little off balance at the end, trying to direct the ball rather than letting it go. And that's a big part of it. You have to trust that ball's going to go where you're looking at. If you start fiddling with it and trying to direct it and make
Force it in somewhere, yeah.
be too perfect with it, it just makes it all the more difficult.
not her day, it would seem. Shelley Zich, as she puts a 12 on the board.
We'll see now if Penny can close this out. Trying to throw one good shot here. Stay down, arm comes up nicely. That's a good ball.
Back to back, another frame, another $50 for Penny Noble. And she will advance and play Ashlee Graham in the quarterfinals to determine our fourth semifinalist.
So she knows she's moving on now. What she's got a key on here is keeping that intensity, trying to get that feeling for the strike shot. She's had 4 of them this game. There's a 5th. Looking a little more solid now. 165 through 7, double working. Shelley now must throw a strike, or she'll lose the 9th frame. Good time for that one.
So we'll carry over, go to the 10th and play for the final $100.
Just off the target again.
That's, I mean, it's from my eye, it's noticeable certainly when she doesn't get the extension, when she releases it almost at her ankle. It's very low.
And that's what I mean about the feet getting there quickly. All of a sudden her body's a little ahead of her arm swing and it's going to lag behind just a fraction. There's the spare though. Opportunity now for the strike and the 30 count and 10. But 20 will be the result. 191 her final score.
Unfortunately for the Zeke family, Mom won't advance.
That's okay, Mom.
Shelley averaging 230 in her league play in Esterhazy.
Penny with a 5 count on the first ball. Needs to score better than 20 to pick up these last 2 frames. And will not do that, so the $100 over to Shelley Zich.
So she'll take $200 back to Saskatchewan, but it will be Penny Noble that advances, winning $300.
And a 238 game.
And that's below the average that we have seen. Remember, Ashlee Graham bowled at 265, 270. Penny Noble advancing, winning $300, and now she'll get ready to play Ashlee Graham from Prince Edward Island, and one of those 2 ladies will be our 4th. Here we go. One of these 2 ladies will be our 4th semi-finalist, Ashlee Graham from Kensington, PEI, against Penny Noble from Medicine Hat, Alberta. Ashlee, just 15, bowled a 265, won $350, and beating Jessie Lambert from Abbotsford, and that's a nice way to start.
That's the good lead-off shot, all right. Especially at $100 a frame. Chance to move into the semis. Now Penny Noble. Struggled a little that last game, got by Shelley Zich.
Pressure's on right away, and she matches it. So we'll carry over and play for $200 in the second. Penny is from Medicine Hat. She won $300, bowled a 238, beating Shelley Zich of Esterhazy, Saskatchewan. Come on, go, 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 go.
Very
Nope.
close. Tough break on that one. It looked like it was going to wrap up that right corner, but somehow managed to stay up. This ball is just a tad full in the middle, but hits it a couple of times, gets the string to wrap around the shoulder of the pin. Has to resort to the second ball low for the spare.
So Ashlee, who has participated in a couple of junior national events, one at a bantam age, look at this. Picks up the strike, picks up the 2 frames, and she has the first $200. She was 4th in the national bantams in 97. She was 6th in the 99 juniors. That's nationally.
And a strong start. And continues it on with her 3rd consecutive. Penny now could be faced with 0 frames after this ball if she does not strike. There's the carry.
So marks up for both bowlers through the first 3. We're carrying over and playing for another 200 here in the 4th.
I guarantee you Ashlee's got her attention right now. Off to the left side. She struggled a little bit with this last game, missing 3 times in her 10 attempts at hitting the middle. So let's see if she can't square this off and make the spare here. Want to throw the good shot, stay down low, have your arm come up through. Good reach on this one. And good result there.
But again, the opportunity for Ashlee Graham.
This one goes down. It almost looks like it's too thin, that all of a sudden you're going to get the split around the corner. But it hangs on. She gets the spare.
A 4th straight strike will give it her no. Now she'll look to get the spare to force a carryover.
This one is gone right away. As soon as she lets it go, she just kind of, you can go there. Oh no, why'd you throw that here?
Oh boy, look at that. So Penny Noble's spare stands up, gives her the 2 frames and the $200, and we're all even.
And by opening up this frame, Ashlee's kept the pinfall close. Now she's got 115 through 4 frames. Penny, in all likelihood, will have about the same range. She's got 90 through 3 and the spare working in 4. Here's the tendency now for new people to the game. They start getting quick. So we'll watch and see if she starts getting up to the approach real quick. Tough break there for the aces. But now is where she's got to resign herself to the fact that it's not probably going to be a mark on this frame. She needs to post 15. She's leading off. That's one side. And she's doing a nice job of this. Like, very often we see people get up there that they're new to the game. They just bang up, get on the lane, throw the shot. And she's done a good job at 15. Pretty much the best she could make out of that. Takes advantage of it. And now Penny needs the mark.
The back-to-back opens for Ashlee after she had 3 straight strikes. So Penny Noble, any mark here will give her the frame and the 100.
And that mark especially.
Yeah, that was, she certainly didn't overpower it.
Watch for her to stay real low at the finish, and that arm swing comes up and the head stays still. A little off to the left. So 2 misses on that lane in a row, both to the left side. Ashlee's going to have a chance to pick up another frame here by throwing 1 good ball. And you see if make the spare. She's got that covered. There it is.
So marking every frame through 6 for Penny Noble, and now it's Ashlee Graham who can win the frame with a strike. Needs a spare to force a carryover. Penny Noble out of Medicine Hat with a one frame or $100 advantage. Go, they go, keep going, keep going, no.
Just about crushed him with the first shot. Ball goes in and looking real good as it comes down. Hits a fraction full as it's trying to cross over.
Look at that wobble, look at this.
And just doesn't carry that left corner with the first crack.
And there's the spare to force the carryover.
So 3 strikes for Ashlee to start off with, and then 2 opens, and then the left corner spare. Only had 1 miss on the middle to this point.
So there you go, says Ashlee Graham. Take that, Penny Noble. Now the pressure's on you. Match the strike, force another carryover.
Stays down with the shot and lets that arm just snap forward and gets the good result this time with the strike in 7. Ooh. So 2 frames for Ashlee.
Just like that, she'll take the lead.
And the pinfall now is going to move back a little bit towards her side. Both very close still. 170 for Penny in the 6th frame, 160 for Ashlee. But Ashlee will have the strike working in 7, whereas Penny is probably going to come up with a 15 count. And that's going to leave it just a little short. Bigger tail though. 4 frames right now for Ashlee. Well, for 182 now through 7 for Penny Noble. This is the one she struggled on the last 2 times up, missed to the left side. This time off to the right. Too much of a correction, perhaps. This one goes off its mark over the right side and keeps tracking to the right. She throws that slight backup ball. Better shot here and better result.
For the spare in 8.
Very close on pinfall. Ashlee, big chance here. Get that strike, get that 5th frame on her side of the ledger. Stubborn left corner.
And now needs that to force a carryover.
Done very well on the corners though. She picked up both the corners when she had her aces in the 5th. Got the spare on the left corner in the 6th. Has a shot now at this corner. Needs it here. And this time doesn't come through. So the frame is to Penny.
No sooner did you say that. And so we're all even.
15 now brings her score to 203. Pinfall for all intents and purposes now shifted just a little bit on Penny's side.
Mom and Dad sweating it out. Look at Mom.
Strike, 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 strike. You can see her saying it.
Yep.
Okay, here's the shot right now. The match is boiling down to this. 9th frame. Really needs to set a spare up here.
Left or right side of the head pin?
Either one will work if you hit it in the pocket. There you go.
That?
Exactly.
That could be a game winner right there.
At least it's certainly going to be one that doesn't eliminate her.
That's right. Now Penny Noble has a chance to pick up the frame, the $100, if she can strike.
Increase the pinfall.
Like that.
There's her 5th frame. Now she can just run Ashlee off the scoreboard.
Go back to Ashlee's spare shot there. At least what it did. She may not have won the frame, but she made Penny Noble get the strike.
What happens here now is Penny needs to avoid an open frame here. Anything but a head pin. There's a strike. So there's number one. Ashlee can still bowl a 278 game here. Penny right now sitting with 257, 2 shots to come. Potential of 30 more pins. And her turn for the aces. So, best Ashlee can do, 278. Penny right now has got 279. So Penny Noble will be moving on. That set of aces was just enough.
There we go.
And the 28 count finally for a 281 score. Ashlee can pick up the final frame with anything better than 28. So spare strike, strike spare, 28 count, they'll split the $100. Okay, needs to make the spare then. She's bowled remarkably well, though, for a bowler that's only been bowling for 9 years. You compare that with Penny Noble, 27 years. 15 years of age, and bowling on national television. She was not seeded here. She earned her way through the province and everything else. A remarkable showing. She's made the spare now. Throw the strike, another 100.
Like that. So she'll pick up the final frame, the final $100. They'll split the money evenly. $500 apiece. But it's Penny Noble's pin count. She bowls a 281. And Penny Noble, who was a runner-up 2 years ago, advances to the Final Four in women's 5-pin.